In every single moment, there is a beauty, there is an aliveness, there is a presence there is an awareness there that is connected to the experience of the moment, but it has nothing to do with the content of your mind. And you might be disconnected from this part of yourself. And maybe if you don't fully agree with me, you know intuitively that what I'm saying is true because you've gotten glimpses of this in various parts of your life, whether it be in nature or when you see a beautiful scenery of some kind, or when you have a really amazing moment in life where you're so connected to the moment that you're not thinking at all. And unless you're extremely depressed, you've gotten glimpses of this in your life. You've gotten glimpses of this. Maybe when you're super in line with your passion, this happens to you, whether you're a guitar player, an artist of some kind, or you like to draw, anything. It doesn't matter. Every person can access this, state of consciousness that is beyond the content of their mind in many different ways. Meditation is only one way to access this state of consciousness, but you can enter this state of consciousness in many different ways and get rid of that content of your mind by just being connected deeply to the moment. And so when you're not in this state of consciousness, you might be unconsciously attached to the content in your mind. And you might be thinking that's who you truly are. But the fact is that you are not your thoughts, and that you are actually much deeper than your thoughts, and that you are not your thoughts. You have a lot of consciousness and a lot of components in your reality that go far beyond the conception of your mind. And that the conception of your mind is just one little piece of being of who you really are. There's the awareness, there's the pure awareness and the aliveness of the moment that you can experience through practice. Maybe you've already gotten glimpses of this that go much, much, much greater beyond the content of your mind. The content of your mind is so insignificant to the beauty of the moment and the level of consciousness that you can achieve as the human being that you are. And to connect to this beingness that we all have, you've got to learn how to not take the content of your mind so seriously and realize in your experience that you are not your thoughts. Because you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to take my word for it. I want you to get an experience for this and understand that the content of your mind should not be taken seriously whatsoever a majority of the time. And sometimes the content in your mind can be very useful to take action on various goals, but then we get way too caught up in the content of our mind. We develop a sense of self. And so let me give you an example. When I say develop a sense of self, I'm saying if you have a thought in your head that's saying, what am I doing here? Why am I here? I'm no use to this planet. Or just let's just give an example. Let's say something like that. What you got to realize is that is simply a thought pattern that is going on in your mind. And that thought pattern has nothing to do with the moment itself. And that the moment has an aliveness and an abundance feeling. You get a sense of peace. And when you actually connect to the moment, being in line with your passion most of the times, or maybe in meditation, or maybe just being very conscious of what you're experiencing, what you'll find is that you can get to a state of consciousness where that thought pattern has no control over you whatsoever. And that thought pattern has nothing to do with your sense of self, and that it's just a thought pattern, and that it's just content. It's just content, and this content has nothing to do with who you really are. It's just absolutely nothing. It's just conditioning from society, and then this expectation that you just got from an outside source. An outside source that has nothing to do with really who you are. And so who you truly are goes far beyond the content of your mind. Because I'm saying you're not your thoughts. Okay, well then, so who are you then, right? Who you are goes far beyond the content of your mind. And the only way to really understand who you truly are is to get to that level of consciousness where, you feel and experience the aliveness of the moment beyond the conception of the mind. And a lot of people don't believe this is possible. They don't believe it's possible, but I'm here to tell you that it is possible, and that you can get to this state of consciousness just with a little bit of training and awareness and how to do it. So check out my video on how to stop thinking to really understand more about that. But it is possible. It is possible. And you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are much greater than your thoughts. You have much more significance and much more presence within you that you can experience, that goes much, just goes so much greater than that little content in your mind that's just so insignificant to reality itself. Because there's reality, there's the experience of what's happening, the aliveness, and then there's the content of the mind that judges the experience and criticizes the experience and labels it as something and says it is something. Because you can be in nature and you might get a very interesting glimpse where you're looking at the tree and you fully take it in. You fully take in the tree, You fully take in what you're looking at. You take in what you're seeing, and then you're really connected to that visual perception. And then, 3 seconds later, you don't realize this is happening probably, or maybe you do if you're, connected to these teachings that I teach. And then, 3 seconds later, the content of your mind will judge and say, oh, that is a tree. And then, in other terms, to connect to your everyday life, you might be experiencing, reality, some kind of situation, and then you might be connected to that part of yourself, and then it doesn't take long before the content of the mind criticizes the situation, judges the situation, completely disconnecting you from reality itself, completely disconnecting you from the aliveness and the beauty of the moment. So then once again, there's the content of the experience, there's the content and about reality, and then, which is, the visual conceptions, and then the content in your mind, like the voice and the visualizations about the past and the future. So there's that, and then there's the actual moment and the actual reality. And you can connect to this reality, and that is going to get you closer to who you really are. And who you really are is not the thoughts. The conceptual mind is not who you really are. And so that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this video and what you think about this kind of content that I've been posting lately. If this video gave you some value or gave you some benefit, consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell for the videos that I post every single day. Have yourself a great day, and see you in the next video.